All right, welcome back. So on this question, number 3, it says, which graph best represents the solution of the set y less than or equal to? So if it says less than or equal to, we know we're going to have a solid line because it can be any value that's on that solid line, negative 4x. So I can eliminate a because that has a dotted line, which if it's a dotted line, then that's going to be our symbols less than or greater than. So I can eliminate b as well. So then now my answer choices are either C or D. Now, I don't even really have to do any mental work here, okay? If I look at the difference between these two graphs, C and D, okay, I know that D is a horizontal line. So then that means that my slope for this one, our slope is equal to 0. Because if we remember, we have Vux, right? Vux. Horizontal line, 0 slope, y-axis, vertical, undefined, and x-axis. So since this is a horizontal line, I know that that's going to be a 0 slope. This has a slope. It has a slope of negative 4, okay? In the equation in our slope-intercept form, if we had y is equal to mx plus b, our b value is 0, not our slope. So our answer choice is C. Number 4, it says that the graph of f of x is equal to x squared, that's our parent function, was transformed to create the graph g of x is equal to x minus 2.5 squared. Which of these describe our transformation? Well, if we think about this, if we remember from our form, so if I have in vertex form, y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. The a value determines whether or not it's stretched or not. Our a value in this case is 1, so we're not doing any stretch. And none of our answer choices are talking about a stretch. We're either talking about a horizontal shift or up or down. Well, remember, the k determines whether or not it goes up or down. So that's going to take out h and k, because our k value is 0, so we have no shift or translation up or down on the graph along our y-axis. Now, a horizontal shift to the right 7.5 units or horizontal shift to the left 7.5 units. Now remember, if I take x minus 7.5 is equal to 0, the x value would be equal to 7.5. So that means that vertex would be at 0, sorry, not 0, it would be at 7.5, comma 0. Okay, so our vertex, because this is in vertex form, our vertex is at 7.50. So we went from our vertex at being 0, 0, and then we shifted right along the y-axis, or along the x-axis, 7.5. So we went to the right 7.5. So our answer choice is F. Set of weight includes 4-pound dumbbells on number 5, 6 pairs of plates. Each pair of plates weighs 20 pounds. If X pairs of plates are added to the barbell, the total weight of the barbell and the plates in pounds can be represented by the function. What is the range of the function in this situation? Now, we're asking for the y values. Okay? Now, I need to determine, it says the x is the plates. So that means that our x values are represented by the weight of the plate. All right, so now the weight of the plates, so we're talking about 6 pairs of weighted plates, all right? So then if I have an x value of 6, plus 4, all right, so now I'm going to put that in my calculator. 20 times 6 plus 4 is going to give me 124. So the f of x value is equal to 124. So now, listen, the a value, that's my range, because we can go from 0 to 6. Now, I want to make a comment there. Make a comment by looking at the a and the c values. All right. It says pairs of weights. 6 pairs of weights. So that means that we're having from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 pairs of weights, not 0, 2, 4. Okay. So now let's see. Our answer choices are going to either be B or D. Okay. And another way that you can also solve this is we can put this into our calculator and we can look at our range. All right. Now, but we can also just talk about calculating. So we know that we're going to take out A and B. So our answer choices are going to be either B or C. So now we have 6 pounds. Well, let's see what happens, what our value is if we have 5. So f of x is equal to 20 times 5 plus 4. Betting that's going to give us 104, but let's check. 25 is 100, so f of x is going to be equal to 104. So our answer choice is going to be B in terms of talking about our range. Number 6. The rectangle of an area is 54 x to the 9th, y to the 8th square yards. If the length, so the area, so we have area, and area is equal to length times width, or we can say base times height. Oh, let me do lowercase because it should be lowercase. And which expression represents the width of the rectangle in yards? Oh, okay. So that means that we're going to have 54x 9 y to the 8th is equal to 6x cubed y to the 4th times whatever, which represents the width. So whatever our unknown width is. Well, how do I isolate the w? I'm going to divide by 6x cubed y to the 4th. I'm going to divide both sides as 6x cubed y to the 4th. So w is going to be equal. Now look, I'm dividing the bases here. I'm taking the quotients of the exponents. 54 divided by 6 will give me 9. So that becomes 1 on the bottom and 9 on the top, because 6 will go into itself one time. Okay, and it'll go into 9 times on the top. Now, I have same base here, x to the 9th, and then same base in the bottom, x to the 3rd. So the rule says that, let's look back here. We're talking about quotients, so let's look at our formula. Okay, we're talking about here quotients of powers. Okay, it says we have to subtract whatever's in the bottom, we subtract it from the bottom. So now let's go back. So x to the 9th, and then we have on the top and x to the 3rd on the bottom. So we're going to take 3 from 9. That's going to give me x to the 6th. I have y to the 8th on top and y to the 4th on bottom. So 8 minus 4 will give us y to the 4th. Now, any number divided by 1 is going to be itself. So our answer should be 9x to the 6th power, y to the 4th, which is our answer choice H. Number 7, the total number of seats in an auditorium is modeled by the function where x represents the total number of row seats. How many rows are there in the auditorium? It has a total of 114 seats. How many rows? So the x represents the rows. So that means we're given the number of seats. So we need to have, we're going to rewrite our equation. 416 is equal to 2x squared minus 6x. So now we need to solve for x. Okay? Well, there's one thing that I noticed here. Everything's divisible by 2. So I'm going to divide everything by 2. So now that's going to give me 208 is equal to x squared minus 3x. Now, this looks kind of like quadratic, right? And let's see what happens if I subtract. 208, subtract 208. So that's going to give me x squared minus 3x minus 208. I want to see if maybe, because these are the numbers here, I want to see if maybe any of those numbers will go into 208. Like they might be a factor. What are the factors of 208? So let's see. 208 divided by 30 is 2. 208 divided by 13. Oh, so 13 does go into 208. So let's see. 13, let's see if we have this in quadratic form. Because our a value is 1. So let's see if we have x and x. One's going to be positive and one's going to be negative because negative times a positive will give us a negative value. And that means our higher value needs to be negative in order to have a negative 3 if we take the product of the sum. So we have a times c. So a times c would be 208. And then we want b is equal to negative 3. And 208, 13 will go into 208. We can take 13 times 16 will give us, now if I have negative 16 times positive 13, that will give me negative 3. So that would work. Now, here's the thing. In order for me to solve for that value of x, I need to set this equal to 0. Because look here, I have two possible answer choices. I have B and C. Okay? So that means I need to take each answer choice. So 13 plus x plus 13 is equal to 0. And x minus 16 is equal to 0. Well, I'm going to add 16 to both sides. Let me move that over some. X minus 16 is equal to 0. I'm going to add 16 to both sides. X is equal to 16. And this would be x is equal to negative 13. Now remember, we can't have a negative value in terms of talking about the number of seats. So our answer choice is going to have to be D. All right, I'll see you in the next video where I'll talk about page 11.